How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a glorious day. Today we're taking a look at this week's attacks on one of my accounts that netted just over 41,000 capital peak points. So let's jump into the attacks, see which strategies I'm using, and which bases I am taking out. Hopefully you can replicate some of these attacks, and utilize the attack strategy, and get a lot of points in your own raid weekends. Or if you just like watching the show, watching me scramble over my words as I try to explain things, that also works too. Here we're using the ground graveyard spam strategy tweaked specifically for the Skeleton Park basic layout. I like to use this attack where there's a couple of P.E.K.K.A.s and then a couple more sets of hogs. We have one pack of minions. Ideally, we can take out this top end section very cheaply, and then the top pack of minions can actually take out and snipe this giant cannon. We've got our troops working through the core and the bottom section of the base, making sure to save a couple of hogs to try and take out this last rocket artillery. Ideally, we're going to try and have the rocket artillery lock on to our P.E.K.K.A., but a lot of times the rocket artillery will retarget, so you have to be pretty careful. Hopefully you have some high-level hog riders that can sneak in there and take them out, because the rocket artilleries are worth, I think it's like between 400 and like 600 points depending on their level, so very good defense to take out. And as you can see, I mean, we did have a bunch of stuff in the Skeleton Park, but we had 7,210 points from one attack, which is very crazy. So let's jump into the next attack. We'll be taking a look, actually, let's take a look at the next basic layout of the Skeleton Park. Try to keep things a little bit more similar, because again, we're going to be using the exact same strategy, pretty much the same deployment. You could probably analyze and get really in-depth, really creative with the deployments to just precisely deploy things the same way exactly every single time. To me, I don't really worry about it too much. The defenses are going to be different levels. Defense might be moved a tile or two, so you might see a switch, you might not, but pretty much on this bottom portion of the base, you just want to directly target the multi-cannon. That can do a lot of damage to your hogs and your P.E.K.K.A. And then you want to try and protect the P.E.K.K.A.s as best as you can. The longer you protect the P.E.K.K.A.s, the more of the base they can take out, deeper they can push into the base, and sometimes they can even get pretty close to taking out the minion hut. So we have kind of lucky pathing this time, where the P.E.K.K.A.s actually both go down the same corridor, which is very nice. We had a bunch of distracting, tanking troops, and the death damage takes out that hut. And we get 8,005 points from one attack. It's absolutely crazy how many points you can get from these higher end bases. So gonna be taking a look at a Barbarian Camp cleanup. Nothing too crazy. This one I believe is the basic layout. I think they've moved some stuff around in the core, but I think what happens to a lot of clans is that they'll move some stuff around early on at the lower district levels, and then as they upgrade to higher capital peak levels, they won't adjust any of the defenses. So sometimes some of the bases you fight can be very easy. Some can be very challenging, but hopefully you can have a nice easy time taking out the easy bases, and then hopefully you can spend a little time trying to plan, see where things will path and move around, try to get down the tougher bases as well. So we do have a very nice cleanup attack on the Barbarian Camp. Love cleaning up Barbarian Camp because there can be a lot of points available. And then on this one, we'll be taking a look at my other favorite base to attack, which is the Golem Quarry. Essentially, if I could choose always which bases to hit, I would probably always clean up Barbarian Camps, or I would always fresh hit a basic layout of the Skeleton Park. I think those offer the most amount of points. A very close consideration, though, is the Golem Quarry. If there is a basic layout of the Golem Quarry, you can do a very nice push. Sometimes get around 6.5, 7,000 points on the basic layout. A lot of times, even a cleanup attack like in this instance, you can get 6,500, and hopefully a lot of bonus points if you have a lot of troops left over. So here we just sent in a few troops down south to take out that blast bow. Had all of the graveyard spells over the splash targeting defenses, and just overwhelmed the base. Nothing could really protect it, so we got a bonus of 435, which is very nice. So now we'll take a look at another Golem Quarry cleanup attack. This one worth a little bit more of a different layout, some more back end, deeper defenses. But for the Golem Quarry specifically, if you have one graveyard over each of these splash targeting defenses, the blast bows and the rocket artilleries, then you are in a good spot. Because a lot of times if you just kind of spread out your troops, the giants do a great job of tanking, the rams do a great job of distracting along with the skeletons from the graveyard spell, then it allows the super wizards to just chain and splash and destroy everything in the base. Sometimes all you need is just one super wizard or one barbarian, one pack of hogs on a splash targeting defense, and it will take it out. You get a huge value from that one troop. Like here we had the super wizard splashing off of the district hall onto the blast bow. Very, very nice. And this base is falling apart really quickly. Once all the splash targeting defenses are taken out on the, well, on any base really, then there's nothing left that can stop all the skeletons. You know, all these cannons and spear throwers, multi-cannons, they have no shot. Last but not least, we're taking a look at, unfortunately, not a two-shot, not a cleanup. Just trying to go for glory. If you saw my previous video this week, this is the same clan. These guys, I think, were like Titan 2 or 3. So, pretty well upgraded base, pretty decent layout, and unfortunately, I did not get enough taken out on the first attack. The biggest thing with the Barbarian Camp is you have to take out like just enough to make the second hit pretty easy, but worth a lot of points. So, fortunately, we were not able to really have a plan for these centralized rapid rockets. And there's just too much base left. You know, we've got the back end rocket artillery, and the graveyard spells are disappearing because they are all out of skeletons. There's just a sliver of health left. So, very unfortunate. Couldn't even get close enough to take it out. Looking, trying to think on this last pack, where should I deploy it? Where could I get the most amount of points? Thought maybe I'd be out of range, get this giant cannon. Unfortunately, not. So, we do miss out on about 3,000 points. That would have been a new high personal best score for me, over 44,000 points. Kind of unfortunate, but you gotta risk it for the biscuit, man. Gotta get those biscuits. So, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found some of it helpful, educational. If you want to keep on watching, there are a couple more videos on the screen. And if you like my content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're still around at this point, I encourage you to join the Discord. Going to be doing a question and answer video once I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. So I'm going to try and answer all the questions. Just go through all of them, hopefully in one video. Hopefully not too long. Try to keep it maybe under an hour or however many questions there are. And go from there. So until next time. Take care.